every Saturday morning.
Information presented on this program is believed to be factual and up to date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Discussions and answers to questions do not involve the rendering of personalized investment advice, but are limited to the dissemination of general information. A professional advisor should be consulted before implementing any of the options presented. Encompass More Asset Management is registered as an investment advisor with the SEC and only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC does not imply a certain level of skill or training. And the guys are here, Clinton Smith, Galen, Bargerstock.
GCES.
And we talk retirement savings here this morning with the fellas. And gentlemen, good morning to both of you.
Good morning. How are you?
It's wonderful. It's good to have you both with us here today. All ready for this afternoon? You're actually driving to Erie for this?
Yeah. So right after this, we're going to go pack because we have to fly to Arizona later tomorrow. But we're going to drive up to the Eclipse and see if we can get some video. We're going to try to go live. We have the glasses. We have camera lenses. So we're going to try to record it as much as we can. We don't have a plan. We're literally going to drive up and try to find some road off of the highway that has no one on it, hopefully, that we can just hang out for 4 minutes and watch it.
Yeah.
Whose idea was this?
It was definitely Clinton's.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I was trying to decide which one of you is nuttier. I sort of had an idea it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's me.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Hey, I wanted to ask you this because as we head toward tax time coming up, people making their IRA contributions have to have them for the 2023 year by April 15th of this year. Mm-hmm. Of course, Roth you had to have by the end of last year, by the end of 2023. It is time for people to make a few moves. Generally, not this time for what you guys do, but there are some things that people do right about now, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure. I have clients that, some people that are, collecting Social Security but aren't quite old enough to, have to make as much money as they want. So they're restricted on income. So what a person can do is you can take some of your earnings and throw it into an IRA, divert that from the IRS, bring your payment down so you're under the threshold of the amount you can make for Social Security to still collect without penalty.
Mm-hmm. I had somebody ask me this a while back, said next time you see Clinton and Galen, ask them this question. They were considering taking Social Security early and not getting their full amount, therefore, because they were taking it early. And their question was, and, it gets to the root of our understanding of the way the system works, because some people have absolutely no understanding at all. Some people have limited knowledge. But their question was, well, if I get it early now, when I reach that age where I would get the full amount, do I get the full amount, or am I stuck at that lower amount for the rest of my life?
Yeah, you're stuck at that lower amount for the rest of your life. But I mean, honestly, you have to weigh into consideration, if you're married, if your spouse has a higher Social Security, life expectancy, family health history. There's so much that goes into consideration when a person decides to draw Social Security. It's almost too hard to go over, on the radio platform, because everybody is so uniquely designed to what their family could pull in to maximize everything. But no, to answer your question, yes, you are locked into the lower level. If you are still working, you are still going to be contributing, so it is going to go up a little bit. And you're going to have cost of living adjustments.
Yeah. Clinton, I guess that customization is why GCES is even existing.
Yeah, and that's what Galen will sit down with you. I mean, a lot of times, I know because I've overheard thousands of his appointments, whenever you look at Social Security and the amount of money that you've made, let's say that there's, you're trying to get from 65 to 67 or 68, whatever it is, the amount that you would make in those 2 years is going to be a lot more than what you would make with that smaller increase by age. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to make, let's say, $800, $900, is that a good number?
Yeah, sure.
For 2 years, that's a lot of money that if in the end your payment only goes up $150, is Is that a good guess?
Your numbers are a little bit off, but
Okay.
it's okay.
$150 a month extra is not really worth it whenever you're going to make 2 years at $800 a month. Does that make sense? So a good thing to do would be add up how much money you would make in between now and the time that the payment jumps up, and see what the difference is and how long it would take you to make that waiting on the other end, on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Another question that somebody had was the laws change, the rules change so often, it seems like yearly and sometimes once or twice within a year, that why bother to plan? Because everything's going to change, but you have protections against that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times, one of the things that I would say is, I have, an annuity, for instance, that, if your Social Security income, if Social Security would ever drop how much money you're making by 3%, that annuity would trigger, and the special benefits inside of it would pay you out to help supplement Social Security loss of income if something was happening. So, while everything is changing and everything could change, the insurance companies have kind of adjusted a little bit to protect if something could happen, but if it doesn't happen, then you're still okay. And it's built in with kind of a conglomerate of benefits, not just one for the same fee. So, it's always good to plan ahead because there are safety nets available now of us thinking ahead for the future if it could change.
Mm-hmm. There has been a long-standing rule that probably is apocalyptic, or that's not the word for it, but that when there's a Republican administration in, then you're buying stocks. When there's a Democratic administration in, then you're buying bonds. And I don't know how valid that is, but does a presidential election year actually impact what you should be planning for?
So I would say that not like people think. Do you know what I mean? The president does have some sway over the economy, but they're not there making the decisions. Do you know what I mean? We've seen it go from Obama to Trump to Biden, and honestly, everyone thinks that there's it's like you said, apocalyptic, a dismal future. Even when people talk about Social Security, everyone's, oh, well, if it's even around when I'm alive. They've been saying that for 60 years. Yeah. So everyone is kind of scared when they think about it. But whenever we sit down with people, I don't have fear for the future financially. I mean, stock market goes up, the stock market goes down. We've survived it over the last couple of years, and I think that it does affect people's retirement, but I don't think the president is sitting there really affecting things too heavily.
On the world market, as long as we're in this neighborhood, there is this idea that Russia and China are going to try to take over the world monetary situation, whereby the United States dollar is not going to be the world standard anymore, and some meeting coming in October that would establish that. Does that impact what we're doing in terms of our retirement savings now?
No. I mean, you have to go on it's a normal day every day and not pay attention to, I don't want to say not pay attention to what's going on around, but a lot of that stuff that is talked about is all, scary, especially with, Social Security might go away, China, Russia, all this stuff coming down at you. And as a person, you just have to think to yourself, have the plan established as if you're going to go through with it, because at the end of the day, what usually happens, what I've seen in my lifetime, is the government seems to swoop in at the end of the, right at the nick of time and save everything and find some special way to let it continue the way it is. Mm-hmm. So why stress about the stuff that you can't control?
From the marketing realm, I would call those we deal with this all the time, where companies will try to scare people into buying products, where they're just bringing up stuff that could happen. Yeah. So, hey, buy this now because this could happen. And then the chances of it actually happening are slim to none. But that person made a sale, and that's really not what we're about. We're more about protecting people and making the sale when it's correct. Do you know what I mean? When it's the right thing to do. We're not into scaring people. I think it's called scare tactics. It's a thing in the insurance industry. People aren't supposed to do it. It does happen. But don't be scared,
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, I'm going to bet on America.
Good plan.
Yeah.
That's a good plan, and basically because we're here, and it's our system, and it's the one under which we're living. So that being the case, we need to be having solid financial footing. We need to be solidly planning for our futures, and that's where you guys come in.
Yeah.
All right. So, all that being the case, what should we be thinking about today in terms of setting up ourselves for a meeting with you and getting everything aligned the way that it should be as we're planning for our futures?
If you're in your 30s or 40s, it's still a good time to check in with us. If you're nearing 50 or even 55, it's time to sit down and actually have an appointment with us and go over things. If you're under 40, it's a great time to check in and make sure you're on the right track and just do a checkup. If you're at 50, 55, or even 60, you're nearing retirement. It's time to start putting things in place and putting the gears towards retiring at a certain date and picking out what date that would be.
When you get to your mid-60s and retirement is literally, a year or so away, do people know how to do that? How am I going to retire? Do I simply go upstairs to the office and say, hey, I'm done now as of next week? Are there things that they need to activate in order to make that retirement happen?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny that you say that. Nobody knows how to retire. And I tell everybody when you sit down, you don't know how to retire because you've never done this before. So you kind of have to find a financial professional, have them help you, walk you through it. It's like taxes. You might do your own taxes, but at some point in your life, you had somebody help you do your taxes because you didn't understand the inner workings of everything and how it worked. Same with retirement. You have to know what you have, know what's all available, not just a one-sided approach, and then make an educated decision. But, I mean, that's what we're here for, to guide you.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
Nobody.
At retirement. And it's
Except
honestly,
you two.
Yeah. And it's honestly different for everyone. You have to figure out all of the things that you have and figure out how to claim them. There's different times. If you're a federal employee, you have a certain amount of time to fill out your retirement book. You can only order your retirement a certain amount of months before you're actually retired. So it really depends on where you're at. Federal employees, we have the process down pretty good. But if you're with an outside employer, it's really not that difficult. You literally just call us and we can lead you down the path of who to call and what to do.
Step by step.
Yeah.
Right toward retirement day. Well, gentlemen, thanks for doing this for us this morning. What do people need to do if they want to set up an appointment with you?
You can give us a call at 724-915-0000. You can visit our website at gces.us for more information, or just stop in our office on Philadelphia Street. It's at 1780 Philadelphia Street.
Don't forget the glasses today.
Don't forget the glasses.
Enjoy the trip.
Thanks so much. Thanks.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.